You have reached Atheist Republic voicemails. God may not be listening to you, but the citizens of the Atheist Republic are. Leave us a voicemail on atheistrepublic.com for a chance to have your message broadcast to our followers worldwide. Send us your opinions, stories, advice, or concerns. Together, we'll build a platform for atheist voices all around the globe.
Hi, my name is Sophia and I am an atheist. I was born to Afghan parents in northern England. My family are quite religious. My whole life I was brought up a Muslim and attended mosque, which I absolutely hated. My doubts started ringing when I was 12 years old. It wasn't something deep or serious, it just naturally occurred. But then I discovered all these malevolent things that Islam normalizes, such as homophobia, pedophilia, homicide, misogyny, anti-Semitism, domestic violence, and even raging hate towards non-believers. I was shocked to find out Prophet Muhammad married a 9-year-old girl and even had a bath with her. Many Muslims shamelessly defend this, saying their society was different back then, as if that makes it any less immoral. It's also funny, yet unsurprising, that parents will teach all the positive things about their faith to their kids, but somehow always leave out the negative ones. If you follow an ideology that promotes immoral and unacceptable things, you need to start re-evaluating your beliefs. My parents do not know I'm an apostate, nor do I plan on informing them anytime soon, but I thankfully convinced my 11-year-old sister out of it. Hopefully atheism continues rising, so ideologies like Islam can diminish. And to all the religious people out there, I urge you to do some 10-minute research on your faith. You never know what you're following.
Hello, hi there. I hope that you can listen to me. I didn't know to whom to tell about my all problems and the things that I have been facing from past 3 to 4 years. But I have been in very much tense situation. So you people were the last hope for me. Actually, I belong to a Muslim family and I did my bachelor's in computer sciences back in 2015. After that, I was always a brilliant student and with very sharp and talented mind. I started to question about religion and its authenticity. So right back in 2017, I was hold accused for the blasphemy, and the agencies, or you can say that, uh, just like there is some special agencies working in the country, they hold me up and they kept me in the lockup and they tortured me and they brutally tortured me, and they asked me to provide the name of other atheists that are living with me and that are in my contact. So after that, they released me after 4 to 5 days with but they used to beat me up, they used to pee on me, and they used to monetize me in many ways. So after that, I came home and I wasn't able to get out of home from like 2 to 3 months. I locked myself in the home. I became schizophrenic. I became mental patient, and then they kept me they kept to um, threaten me on regular basis that I have to provide them with the information I have, that I have been working for the foreign intelligence agencies to do blasphemy in my country. I denied it all, and at the end, I now my family refused me, my friends refused me, even my own family didn't own me, like I live alone. So I almost received threat calls daily, but um, you can say I am living in hell and I just want to get out here because I might fear that may end my life here. and I don't want to live anymore here. I just want to get out from here.
My favorite thing is when religious people claim that I worship Satan because I am an atheist.
Hi guys, I'm from Bulgaria. Bulgaria is a small Orthodox Christian country in Eastern Europe. I grew up without religion. The word religion or the concept of religion was never mentioned to me while I was growing up. I only knew that we are Christians but never saw it as a thing. I didn't even realize that Christmas is a religious celebration until I was in my late teens. I consider myself Christian by heritage and traditions, but atheist by conviction. I can say that most Christians in Europe are like that. What that means is we celebrate Christmas and Easter, we marry, baptize in church, not because we believe in it will change anything, but just because we find it a fun tradition. We also perform funerals in Christian way. We might wear cross as part of our tradition and identity. But we don't really observe any religious rules. We don't fast, we don't pray, we don't go to church. Most importantly, we don't believe in the unbelievable stories in the book. We see them more as nice stories, fairy tales, myths, that kind of thing. In my country, we have 90% Orthodox Christian and 10% Muslims. And from this 90% Christians, about 80% of them are not religious. Only about 10% are religious to some extent. Muslims, they are more religious, but they also are not very religious, even though they are still convinced that Islam is the only true religion and Muhammad was the last prophet and the greatest man that ever lived. But apart from this concrete conviction they are not very observing. Most of them have never read the Quran. They don't wear hijabs. They don't pray. They don't fast. They don't go to mosque. They only celebrate Ramadan, circumcise their boys, and they don't eat pork. I can say that I can see a bit of change lately due to Saudi Arabia and Turkey putting a lot of money in Islamizing Europe and radicalizing the Muslims. But this only happened in the last 10-15 years. Before that, in Bulgaria, both Christians and Muslims were not religious, and religions didn't matter to anybody, so we lived in peace. Lately, I can see through brainwashing a greater division is created between Muslims and Christians. But as a whole, I can say that Bulgaria is not a very religious country. I can say it's an atheist country. And this is a result of 45 years of communism, during which time religion was forbidden. You are not allowed to go to church or mosque, own a Bible or Quran. You cannot mention anything religious in public. You cannot wear religious clothing or anything identifying you as a religious person. You can't pray, fast. We didn't have Christmas even. Instead, we celebrated Santa and New Year on the 1st of January. We did have Easter, but it was not a religious celebration. It was more egg decorating celebration. Maybe the first generation in that communist times, the first generation of people probably felt oppressed because their religion was taken away from them. But as a result, the second, third, and fourth generations are now atheists. So I guess something good came out of communism. But that got me thinking. The United Nations recognizes the right of religious freedom, but this lately goes only one way. It's understood as the right to be religious. But in fact, it is also the right not to be religious. And I believe brainwashing children from a small age with religious beliefs goes against the freedom of religion of that child, the freedom of the child to choose what religion they want to follow, and if they want to be religious at all this is taken away from them. I believe that a child is naturally an atheist, and unless the parents put some belief in God in their minds, So I think the UN must recognize religious indoctrination as a form of child abuse and create a law as a part of the Human Rights Declaration. And I think the law should state that no parent has the right to impose religion on their children. This will include the belief and also closing down all religious schools, male circumcision of children, putting headscarves on children's heads, and so on. And I think when the child reaches the age of 18, together with the right to drive, the right to marry, the right to drink, it should acquire the right to practice any religion they want. And I think that is the only way forward for our society. Because right now we are creating children, we are allowing children to be brainwashed with lies and myths and irrational fears, and then as a result we are trying to reason with an army of brainwashed adults that want to impose their nonsense on the rest of society. We are creating this problem, and I think the only way to stop it is to stop the brainwashing of children. Well, that's all I want to say. Thank you for your good work. I love you. Bye.
Hello, this is Elvis. I'm an atheist, an ex-Hindu from India. And unlike many of my fellow atheists, I was lucky to have an atheist dad. And that helped in my family situation, so I didn't have too many troubles coming out. But I still faced a lot of questions, ridicule, and alienation from people because of my outspoken views. And I realized at some point you need to stand up and speak. Otherwise, religion just becomes the norm, and the lie that religion is keeps getting repeated and becomes the truth. So I appreciate what you guys do to stand up against this lie and this evil, if one can call religion so. Keep up the good works, and hello from India.
Science doesn't care what you believe in.
Please consider supporting us by sharing the podcast with your fellow heathens or donating by going to atheistrepublic.com and clicking on support. Subscribe to Atheist Republic voicemails on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. And please leave us a review.